The U.S. Supreme Court has approved President Trump's plan to begin mass layoffs of federal employees, following a previous attempt that was blocked in May. On July 8, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling lifting the ban imposed by a lower court on President Donald Trump's plan to dismiss tens of thousands of federal government employees. Previously, on February 11, President Trump signed an executive order calling for a fundamental overhaul of the federal administrative apparatus, directing agencies to cut personnel deemed non-essential. A coalition of labor unions, non-profit groups, and other organizations filed a lawsuit against the order, arguing that the Trump administration had overstepped its authority by initiating mass layoffs and restructuring government agencies without congressional approval. In May, U.S. federal judge Susan Ilston issued a ruling blocking President Trump's mass layoff plan, arguing that such action requires prior approval from Congress. The Trump administration subsequently appealed to the Supreme Court. After review, the Supreme Court stated that the government is likely to prevail in its argument that President Trump's executive order is lawful. However, the justices stated that they are not taking a position at this time on the legality of specific agency restructuring plans, which remain the subject of ongoing legal battles. These plans themselves are not currently before the Supreme Court, and therefore we have no opportunity to assess whether they can and will be implemented in accordance with legal constraints, said Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who was appointed during former President Joe Biden's administration, issued the sole dissenting opinion among the 9 Supreme Court justices. Under our Constitution, Congress has the authority to establish administrative agencies and define their functions in detail. She stated, therefore, for the past century, presidents seeking to reorganize the federal government have first needed congressional authorization. While presidents do have some powers to reduce the federal workforce, they cannot unilaterally undertake a fundamental restructuring of the federal government. After returning to the White House in January, President Trump directed federal agencies to prepare plans for significant workforce reductions as part of a broader effort by the Office of Government Performance to streamline the bureaucracy. The Office of Government Performance has dismissed tens of thousands of federal employees, cut programs focused on racial diversity initiatives, and eliminated the U.S. Agency for International Development along with several other agencies.